Hello, I'm Movie Man, and this is the movie Virgin Mountain. A timid introvert's life changes dramatically after he gives a girl a ride during a snowstorm. The film begins with the view of the main character, a guy named Fusi, who works as a forklift at the airport. He rolls along a concrete field, dragging behind him not only the burden of past years, but also emotional baggage, and of course, carts with suitcases. In the next scene, he is about to eat chocolate balls and milk, breakfast of a champion for dinner. His mother is making sandwiches for tomorrow's work shift. The next day brings another monotonous shift of loading and unloading luggage. In his free time, Fusi, as befits a decent, social homebody, plays tabletop war games, building tank wedges according to history books. The next scene is our hero in a toy store. A new radio-controlled all-terrain vehicle is purchased. The hero carries it home. On the way home, the neighbor's girl asks who he is carrying the toy for, but the guy has no answer. Opening the door, Fusi finds his mother having an intimate affair. To avoid even more embarrassment, he goes to test the car on a snowy street, which the neighbor girl catches him doing. After making sure that the guy named Rolf has left, the guy returns home. In the evening, while Mom is doing her friend's hair, Fusi goes to visit Mordor, with whom he plays a game of war game. One of the sons of Mordor wants to play with them, but his father forbids them. These toys are not for children. Afterwards, the adults smoke weed while discussing latest news, especially caught Fusi overaged hookup. Talks about hypnotists who can erase shocking memories. Next morning, clearing light Scandinavian snow, Fusi notices Rolf wandering around his table, touching the figures without asking. He goes inside to ask not to do this and adjusts the combat flanks of the plastic army. The man responds by advising him to pay more attention to real life and not to reconstructions of glorious battles of the past. In particular, he recommends Fusi to find a girlfriend on the internet. At work, colleagues discuss Fusi behind his back. They take his headphones away to ask him about his personal life. Fusi literally avoids answering. Then the annoyed bullies throw the headphones at his back. In the next scene, the hero in a cafe makes an order from the As Usual series. The waiter automatically removes the second cutlery as unnecessary. After dinner, Fusi sits in the car on the riverbank, listening to hard rock on the radio, which he ordered from the DJ. Fusi's birthday is coming. He receives from his stepfather a cowboy hat and a certificate for dance lessons, where the hero can shake things up and meet new people. At work, the boss calls Fusi to discuss a sensitive issue, whether his colleagues are bullying him. Despite the open hostility on their part, the hero does not betray anyone. Returning home, he finds a neighbor's girl on the stairs. She lost her keys and can't get home. The guy invites the child to his place to feed her. After milk and pie, the girl plays with his collectible figurines and war game models until her father returns. In the evening, Fusi's mother gathers him for the dance lessons, despite his reluctance to go there. Having reached the hall, the hero timidly goes inside, where the rest of the students have already gathered. After watching them have fun, he turns around and leaves. He sits in the car and wastes time, listening to the radio and talking on the phone, while a light snowstorm slowly falls outside the window. After waiting for the end of the dance, the guy notices a lonely girl coming out last. A girl named Sion approaches his car through the snow and asks for a ride home. On the way, she tries to talk to him, but the timid guy, who does not have sufficient experience in social interaction, answers inappropriately. He admits that he was also supposed to go to the dance, but did not dare. A fellow traveler invites him to his next class, and he awkwardly agrees. During the day, Fusi discusses tank models with Mordor when Rolf asks how the class went. The old man asks to show him what he has learned, but from his strange answers, it becomes clear that he did not go to any dances. After a hard day at work, his colleagues bully him again, forcibly dragging him into the shower to wash. Fusi paints the figures when the neighbor's girl rings the doorbell. She invites him to visit because she has no other friends in the area. They recently moved. Although not immediately, he agrees. The girl asks the hero why he doesn't have a wife. She believes he's just shy, even though her dad calls him crazy, which the child talks about with childlike spontaneity. Fusi, getting ready for a dance in the evening, promises his mother to bring a blowtorch from work. She needs it to prepare a French dessert. At her first lesson, Fusi not only diligently repeats the movement as the teacher orders, but also stares at Shoyan. After class, they go for a walk together. The hero invites a girl to his favorite cafe, which he visits every Friday. Then they go to his favorite place on the shore, where Fusi, taking advantage of his friendship with the DJ, orders her favorite song on the radio. Shyly gets out of the car to talk to the DJ. The song makes a favorable impression on the girl, although the guy himself is studiously shy. Finally, Seon invites him to tea, but he refuses, citing the fact that he does not drink this noble drink. He drops off her and drives off. He realizes that he was a little stupid. He comes back and rings the doorbell to get some milk. During a casual, one-sided conversation, the girl asks where he works, telling him along the way that she loves traveling. The hero answers in monosyllables, unable to maintain friendly chatter, but returns home smiling happily, bringing the promised blowtorch from work. Fusi is in the kitchen, heating up her mother's friend's French dessert. The woman discusses his recent late returns, implying that he had a date. At work, one of the bully's colleagues asks him to see what's wrong with the car. While Fusi is tinkering under the hood, he apologizes for the prank in the shower and invites the hero to a party on Saturday, although his repentance is caused rather by the fact that the boss asked uncomfortable questions. While visiting a fellow hobbyist, Fusi discusses his recent date. However, Mordur scares him because the dating period is the most terrible for a man, because he must constantly come up with something to surprise a girl. His words sink into the hero's soul. Fusi, knowing about her passion for travel, goes to a travel agency to fly abroad to where it is warm and sunny. He then goes to the flower shop where Seoyeon works, but she left there a long time ago. He waits for the girl outside the house when she returns from work on a garbage truck. He rings the doorbell to talk, but the girl angrily slams the door in front of his face. The guy presses the doorbell again to say that he doesn't care where she works. This melts the ice between them. Then Fusi invites her on a trip to Egypt. The girl asks whether he ordered one number or two different ones, making it clear that nothing can happen between them. On Saturday, he goes with his colleagues to a party, which begins with a paintball match. Then they drink culturally in an apartment, and soon a guest stripper appears, putting on a professional show. After the show program, the guys pay the girl to sleep with Fusi, but the hero refuses and wants to leave. Then the guys push him into the bedroom to undress him, but he resists, using his weight advantage. The hero easily throws the bullies aside and finally hits the ringleader in the face. Suffering from a hangover in the morning, he asks his mother to call work and take sick leave. Going out into the fresh air, Fusi meets a neighbor girl who offers to play. He refuses and plans to take a car ride to the shore of the bay. Then she begs to go for a ride with him, but the girl does not appreciate admiring the harsh Scandinavian beauty and asks to go home, where the police, called by the girl's concerned father, are already waiting. He immediately calls Fusi a pervert and forbids him to approach his daughter. The police invites the hero to the police station to explain the situation. An experienced employee asks the guy what exactly he and the girl are playing when she comes to visit. Not having found any evidence of crime or malicious intent, the policeman is not against the good-natured fat man. In the evening, Fusi, putting on a suit, goes to dance. He looks out for Seon, but she hasn't come. After class, he drives to her house, where he hesitates to go in and watches from the car. The next day, Fusi drives the radio-controlled car around the yard. Local children run up to him, and he allows the boy to steer himself. But when the child's mother notices that he is hanging around a fat man accused of pedophilia, she calls him home. Tormented by conflicting thoughts, Fusi returns to Science House, breaks the glass, and gets inside. The apartment is in mess and chaos, and the girl herself is sitting locked in the closet. She doesn't want to talk and asks Fusi to leave. The hero almost obeys, but the pitiful meow of the cat forces him to stay. After feeding the animal, Fusi remains in the chair in front of the TV with the pet on his stomach. In the morning, he wakes up on the sofa in Sion's apartment and prepares breakfast, which he leaves in front of the closet door. After cleaning the apartment, Fusi is about to leave. Breakfast remains untouched. He shows up for work to take a few days off. Having received permission, the guy returns to Cien to replace the broken glass. Fusi stays with the girl, studying recipes and cooking according to them, in the process trying to get the hostess to talk. The girl admits that she skipped work and is afraid that she will be fired. Then Fusi goes to the landfill to talk with its boss. He offers to work shifts for her. The hero returns to Sion, grabbing a huge bouquet along the way. He carefully opens the door, after which he lifts the girl, sobbing with self-pity, comforting her that everything will be fine. Fuchi carefully washes Sien in the bathroom, makes sure she has at least something to eat, puts her to bed and covers her with a blanket. The hero sorts garbage at the landfill instead of the girl. The rest of the workers look at him askance, however. Instead of mocking him, they invite him to the pub after work to watch football. Returning home, Fusi also finds his mother upset. Her boyfriend broke up with her. Hinting that her son deserves better than a depressed scavenger, his mother tells him to break up with his girlfriend. During his next visit to Sion, the hero finds her making repairs while listening to music. Fusi takes his friend, who has come to her senses, out to the cafe. Driving around the city, they come to a former pastry shop that Sion has eyed for her own flower shop. Finishing his last shift, Fusi has a drink with his new colleagues. Although they make fun of him, they completely like him. When he returns to Sion, she immediately jumps on him and drags him to bed. In the morning, Fusi wakes up in the same bed with the girl. They return to dance class, and for the first time, instead of a formal suit, he is dressed in a more appropriate outfit, even wearing a cowboy hat. Sion offers to go together on the previously planned tourist trip, as well as move to the next level and live together. But now, Fusi himself cannot leave his mother alone. The girl is upset by his reluctance to get out of his mother's care, and she leaves. Fusi runs after her to say that he is ready to change his life. At home, he saws apart the war game table and collects figurines and toys in a box, which he takes to the neighbor girl. She is not home. Her father, having accepted the gifts, is accused of his suspicions beforehand. Fusi, along with Mordor, carries piles of boxes with things into the apartment of Sion, who nervously paces back and forth. She again has a nervous breakdown. She thinks she's making a mistake moving in with him. The guy has no choice but to transport his things back home. Upset, he sits in the room among the boxes. The resentment does not go away. In the morning, Fusi looks out the window where a blizzard is blowing. The snow completely covers the ground, reminding him how caring about Sion has overshadowed his unsociable, introverted insides. At the airport, the guy looks at happy passengers flying to a distant country or returning home with new emotions. He returns to the premises of the old confectionery shop where he and Mordor are making repairs. Having finished putting the store in order, the hero leaves the key to it, along with a note in the mailbox. In the next scene, a truck with a trailer of luggage carts is driving along the concrete floor of an airfield. Fusi watches it from above, and from the boarding corridor he, along with the other passengers, is getting ready for traveling to a foreign and distant country. The runway appears through the window, becoming faster and faster. Fusi stepped out of his comfort zone, broke ties with the past, and discovers something new.